Hi guys, we are entering one of the newest restaurants in Universal. It is an Epic Universe and it is their fine dining sit-down restaurant in the parks, and it is called the Atlantic. It is a seafood restaurant with a number of different other options if you're not a seafood eater, but we're going to go in and enjoy our reservation. Would you like to join me? Here we go. Hi guys, so we are inside the Atlantic. I'm going to share some pictures of the menu with you now. Right now I just have water. The server did ask me, I told the person seating me that I had allergens, and then the wait staff, the server, asked if I had allergens. Got what they were, so she would relay them to the chef. Here comes, once you're sailing in just as happy as you are sailing out. Or sailing out just as happy as you are sailing in. You know what I mean? So we're gonna look at the menu. There are some things, I'm showing you menu pictures now, that are marked gluten-free. And we're gonna figure out which ones of those I can have, because some of them, of course, are the shrimp, which is what I can't have. But there are a couple things. There's an oyster mushroom ceviche. It sounds very interesting that I might want to try. There are also oysters on the half shell, which has a watermelon cocktail sauce. Or that may need to be had. Sadly, the soup is not safe, but that's not a surprise. But there are a couple. There's the sea scallops, the Atlantic salmon, which I can have. So I just have to figure out which one is what I'm going to crave the most. Our waitress is celiac. That's why she's so good. All right. I have ordered the espresso martini. She did say to do the oysters, the mushroom ceviche, and one of the entrees would be too much food. She said I'd be too heavy. So I'm going to do the oysters because she recommended that over the oyster mushrooms, and then we're going to do the seared scallops. She recommended that over the salmon. We're going to try them when they get here. I'll let you know. We'll have some fun. So I have just switched to the body mic, so hopefully you can hear me better and not hear as much music. Yeah, I forgot to put this on in the morning, and I'm going to have it charged, so we'll try more of that later. There's a beautiful view outside here. I'll show you. There are two levels. There are three levels. The top level is check-in and the bar. The middle level, and then there's a bottom level of dining. Have these beautiful views, and I'm up against the rail, so I don't have a person that I'm looking through to look at this. And as I showed some other people briefly, it's a lovely view. So as I call them, the Bellagio fountains. There's some company who made the Bellagio fountains, but the water fountain show just has this going on the whole time. And every, I think, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they do an actual show. Oh, and you can see Stardust Racers. That was interesting. Yeah, it's a half view of the roller coaster that I will not drive on, because roller coaster. Yeah, no. It is peaceful in here. It is quiet. It's heavenly and serene. And we're going to have an incredible meal. And hi there. So we have gotten the Espresso Manhattan. It is bourbon and chocolate bitters and espresso liqueur, and the woman raved about it, so I'm going to take that as a good sign. You get a good bitter coffee flavor with a hint of chocolate. Strong coffee, like dark, rich, intense, bitter coffee smell. Okay. The bean flavor, the coffee bean flavor is almost smoky. You know, that like really intense flavor of coffee you get out of it. But it's got a sweet end that comes like right up the center, up your tongue. That's definitely got a chocolate hint to it. The foam on it's really nice too. It kind of lightens it because it's a very dark drink. I mean, I know the other alcohols are in there, but I don't necessarily taste them. Yes, I do. All right, so it comes in sweet. Then you get a hint of the bourbon flavor. And then it switches to that coffee bean, like when you chew a coffee bean, that smoky kind of flavor. And then kind of gets a kind of a creamy edge and melts down. It's a lovely complex. Where it hits on your tongue keeps changing. The one thing I will say about about all of the places I've been here is mixology-wise, they are being very creative and coming up with some incredibly interesting flavors, but this is dangerous and this is easily drinkable.
Yeah, this is easily drinkable. I will note that the bottom of the glass is a little dirty looking. I may just point that out to her. I don't need any drink. The drink is fine, but just a FYI. But I love the music. I love watching the fountains out here. I love this view. It's so peaceful. The light is lovely. And I haven't shown you up top. Gotta look at this stuff. One of the things I tell you about Epic Universe is to always look up. Because we are covered by fish that are swimming. See that kind of, they're literally on track, swimming through the restaurant. So as you start to eat, they pass by you like you would be if you were swimming. It's kind of fun. And the big sign that says Atlantic that you can see from the outside, we're seeing from the inside right here. So I like the bubbles too. Bubbles, 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 yay, bubbles. And the fish are beautifully made. You can see them made by like, oops, sorry, I mean you can't see. You can see now that they're made by circular discs. To the circular discs all together, kind of, they look like the pieces of scales. This is really cool looking. I'm gonna enjoy my drink for a little bit. I luckily had breakfast. Yeah, we'll talk to you more about things in a minute. Hey, so I'm showing you the picture of the oysters here. Now what's interesting is rather than a big wedge of lemon, they've given us like little tiny wedges of lemon. So I guess you have to hunt them down and squeeze them onto your oysters. Little tiny lemon, I mean, you don't get C's, I will say that, because of the way they've done it, but tiny. All right, so there's 2 sauces here, and there's horseradish. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna have fun playing with this, because we got 6. So the first is the mignonette. So we're gonna just get some of the excess water out of the oyster first, and just kind of dip it in there, get some in there, and let's give this one a try. Good vinegar. The oysters are a little bit sandy. Mignonette had a lot of onion in it, and that's most of what I'm picking up. But a nice light vinegar flavor. Okay. And they're not huge oysters, they are on the smaller side. But I did get my little allergy pit. Okay, so the next one we're going to try is the cocktail sauce. And the cocktail sauce says something about it being a watermelon cocktail sauce. So we're going to try this one. So it's more tomatoey this way, a little bit sweeter, but it doesn't have a whole lot of burn, which is why I think they do the horseradish on the side. That could be dangerous. I just scooped up a bunch of horseradish and dropped it onto one of the oysters. So I'm going to combine that. The oysters themselves, briny. They're fresh. I mean, you're not smelling oyster, you know. It's light. All right, so I did a real dollop of horseradish on there. I may regret this. We'll throw some of the cocktail sauce on top, and let's see what we got here. That's what it needed. Even that big dollop. It's not super spicy, but it does give that lighter burn. That's nice. That's real nice. All right, I'm going to finish these. Tell you when the next course gets here. Okay, so the scallops have arrived, and the picture goes right here. So it looks like we've got pieces of Romanesco, which I think is sort of their broccoli replacement here. I'm going to have a taste of that first. Oh, that's really nice. It has Parmesan on it. I was going to say it has kind of buttery, cheesy flavor to the base of it. This looks like a risotto on the base. Dense, creamy, and it kind of has that edge of mac and cheese concept. Then we've got a mushroom. I believe it's a trumpet mushroom base, so it's thick. Mushroom, mushroom. Nice go. Good salt. Good salt to the almost being too much salt, but it gives it kind of a crunch. It makes it feel more like makes it feel substantial as an item. Yeah. So it's 4 mushrooms, 4 scallops, and then 4 pieces of Romanesco over the risotto. So now we're going to try the scallop. Sorry, I was interrupted by the waitress just to make sure everything was okay. So the same kind of salt and preparation on the mushrooms is what's been done on the scallop. So nice clean scallop. So it's kind of nicely almost sauté cooked on one side and then seared on the other. So you've got that crisp on the one side. And it's good salt. Now, I'll be honest, normally this salt is often too much for me, but because we're in the heat of Florida, it is currently 90 degrees out there, and it's going to get hotter throughout the week. That kind of salt, your body's going to be depleted of it when you're sweating outside, so getting that amount of salt back in you, very helpful. It's a well-balanced dish. If you're a scallop fan, yeah, I think you'd really enjoy this. So I'm going to finish my meal. We'll see if there are dessert options, and if not, I'll see you when the bill gets here. So you are looking at the dessert menu now. There are 4 options on the menu. Only one is safe for you, and that is the panna cotta. It's got a pineapple meringue in it. But it looks tasty. It's going to hopefully be bright and fresh. I don't know yet. We're waiting for it. Our server said, I'm not sure if you can have the meringue. It turns out it was her allergy that specifically made another allergy she had that made it unsafe. But we can have the dessert as is on the menu. That is the only dessert that we can have on this menu. So just so you know. And I'll tell you when it gets here. Okay. So the picture of the dessert, the pineapple panna cotta, is going to go right here. So I'm going to take a taste of this fluffy stuff on the top. So it's a meringue, but it's a flat meringue. You get a lot of almond flavor and a coconut flavor in there. And then I believe there are dollops of pineapple on the top. You have the beautiful stick. Oh, I think I'm going to like this. Okay. So just the panna cotta itself. When you glance at it, it looks like it's runny, but it's actually, see if I do that, it's a set pudding. That's panna cotta. Okay, so very light panna cotta. Not super sweet. Like, I don't want to say flavorless, but just very, very light. I think it's the accompaniments that are going to make it. So it's probably a coconut panna cotta. So the little yellow dollops you saw in the picture are a pineapple gelée, fresh pineapple, which is still a little bit sour. Now I'm going to take a piece of the meringue and scoop that up with the panna cotta. So the meringue gives you your chew. It also picks up the sweetness. It wouldn't necessarily be sweet without that. Oh, that's fun. Oh my God, when you put when you get it, panna cotta, meringue, break some of that meringue up in it. If you want to get some pineapple in there, depending on the bite, yum. Delicious. When you do a little bit of everything together, and I'm sorry you can't put the meringue in it, yes. It brightens up the sweetness of it, and there's a chew to it. With the coconut in there. I've already told them, and I can edit anything out. But it brings like a light chew to the panna cotta, so it's not just that smoothness, and it brings up the sweetness because the panna cotta is not sweet. Yeah. Okay. So it really balances out the dish. It's really nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Continuing.
Okay. It's a nice plain, like, not a buttermilk panna cotta, but a very light panna cotta. But having it with the meringue, make sure to break the meringue up into pieces, and I think that's why it's flattened instead of like a traditional or bulk meringue. Yeah, incredibly light, but a really nice balanced dessert. So I'll tell you when the bill gets here. Okay, so you are looking at the menu right now. You'll see the espresso martini, the espresso Manhattan was $18, the oysters were 28, the sea scallops were 40, and the pina colada panna cotta was $12. So it's $98. It is not a cheap meal. I mean, truthfully, it's not a cheap meal, but so good. I need to fill out the base on with the tip and everything else on this. I will tell you, my wait staff was phenomenal. And yeah, this was a great meal, and I'm glad I got to try it. And remember, it is a pricier meal because you are in basically their signature restaurant here. But yeah, pretty fabulous. So, if this has helped you figure out how to eat gluten-free when you are traveling in the parks, please remember to give this a thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. Don't forget that I don't have a tagline. Singing hey ho, a maiden's life, 1, 2, 3. Hey ho, a maiden's life, won't you drink with me?